Hi everyone, welcome to the Games Development Taste today for East Norfolk Sixth Form College. I am one of the teachers on your course. My name is Ditz, and I'll just be taking you through just a little bit about our course, what you do on there, some of the units, and some of the things where you can kind of go to in the future. So let's begin. So the first question. Hopefully it's obvious, but do you play video games? I'm sure you all do. What do you play your games on? Are we console gamers, PC gamers, handheld? Does it matter to you? Does it not matter to you? I mean, is it that you play games everywhere and anywhere that you can? So it's about just getting you thinking about that. So what type of games do you like to play? Are you a first-person shooter player? Are you an MMO player? Do you like strategy games? That kind of thing. Why? What is it about it that you like? What is it about the act of playing Rainbow Six, of playing Civ, that kind of thing that you like doing? What is it about those games? Because on this course, it's not about playing games. It's about picking them apart, developing your own, and coming up with ideas as to what is it about video games? Why do we love them so? Are you a consumer or a builder? And that's very different things. We've had many students over the years where they like to play video games. When it comes to the act of making them, it's a different thing. So you've got to think about that yourself. And the age that we live in now, with your Minecrafts, your things like this, you'll know yourself if you are someone who really enjoys building these environments, building these worlds, programming, that kind of stuff. So ask that question to yourself. Are you someone who just consumes things, or do you like to build? So games dev, as I just said, is not about just playing games. We make them. Hopefully you will. So if you're passionate about video games, this is the course for you. Okay, you might be looking to grow your artistic IT skills. So some of you might have been doing some Photoshop work or Paint Tool Sci or anything like that throughout school or in your own time to try help build your skills in that. 3D modeling, programming, that kind of stuff, your own design skills, and we're going to help build that for you. The course enables you to gain relevant workplace skills and techniques to keep you ahead of the curve. What we are really proud of having here is we have industry standard software. So we use the Unreal Engine, we use Unity, we use Photoshop, we use Substance Painter. These are actual bits of software, 3D Studio Max, Maya, all this kind of stuff. These are the software that you would use at university and in the workplace. So getting your skills started at this level is a really important thing. You can choose to specialise later on. So if you want to go into 3D engines, 3D modelling, games programming, scripting, that kind of stuff, we can. So what do you have to do? It's very much heavily portfolio based. So there'll be lots of assignments, lots of deadlines for you to meet. So we might say, we need this assignment in 2 weeks' time, and it needs to be in on that time. But you'll have plenty of classwork time to get things done, as well as home time as well. It's very practical. A lot of the lessons it's you and the computer. We're obviously here to help as well, but you can, you're spending your time working on things, and if that's something you really like doing, you can lose yourself on the computer. Brilliant. All assignments have to be completed to pass the course, obviously. There is going to be, in the first year, there's one externally assessed assignment. Sorry, you have to do it in controlled assessment, much like an exam. In the second year, there's 2 of them. So what do you do on the course? So we do some games production, 3D modeling, we do 3D environments as well, and 3D animation. The course itself, what I need to sort of say as well, is that it's offered as a double and a single block. So it can be 1 block on your timetable or 2. If it's the single, what I was saying about exams, there are no exams. So the single block doesn't have exams, the double does. So as you can say, so in the second year we'll do things like digital media skills, more scripting, more environments, everything you need. So games production is that you start understanding game genres, design considerations. Why do developers put things in certain places? Why would a level designer try and lead you down a certain path? Color, shape, that kind of stuff. What things subliminally we might not realize but are happening, and how we're being led as players. You create your own digital game as well using sourced assets. So I'm going to give you lots of 3D models and things, and a hack together kind of, here's some code, here's some things you need to go build something, let's go. And we're going to pick in and make it for a specific genre. Normally we do things like maze games or platformers, that kind of thing, and this is literally your first unit in the double, and you'll get through there. We do 3D modeling as well. So the models you see here are student models, which were made a couple of years ago now, but you've got to think, if you've never done anything like this before, don't worry. We're going to start at the start. I appreciate everyone is there. So here's some more here. We had a bit of a Star Wars theme about a year ago. People making things. Here's Claptrap. What we're really happy as well this year, we've got some 3D printers. So any model that you make here, we can actually 3D print it, which I think is kind of awesome. We do 3D environments. This is what I'm saying. We use the Unreal Engine. So you get to understand 3D environments, why you build things a certain way, the tricks of everything. So how to set up your scene properly, how to hide certain things, to create a good 3D engine, a 3D environment. Sorry, for the game you want to kind of make. And again, some student work here. So this is all done within the Unreal Engine, using assets, using things they've made themselves and sourced as well. So there we are. We do research techniques as well into the industry. So at the moment, it's obviously a very interesting time with COVID, but things like the PlayStation 5 has just had its unveil. We're waiting to see what the Xbox is going to do as well with its games, and we'll look at sort of how that impacts the market. How has actually COVID impacted the market? Lots of games have been delayed. I'm sure in the next 6 to 12 months, we'll have things which have changed. The game's release dates may slip again. Because developers can't get to where they need to, all this kind of stuff. So it's looking at and researching sort of specific areas of game development, which you might think, oh, that's worth a look at, how video games affect us mentally, that kind of stuff. Game engine scripting. So for the programmers out there, we will be using Unity and Unreal. So you'll be using C++, C#, and obviously its own programming language, which is called Blueprints, to help you to build the games. Do not worry if you haven't done computer science at school. We will start at the start for everyone. Okay. Digital media skills. So again, showing all of your products. It's sort of making a game yourself and putting it all together. So where do our students go? So we've got some past students here. We've got Lewis. He's actually got a game on Steam. We've got Andrew, who's got a game on Steam as well. And these were all developed whilst at the college, and we're more than happy to support that if you want to do things like that. We've got Luam. He was with us as well a few years ago, and he's now working on Star Citizen. We had a student called Steve who's now working at Sumo Digital. A lot of our students go off to university. They carry on with this, and it's really exciting to sort of be the first part of it and saying, look, this is your path now, and it helps you to see where you're going. We often take part in the Norwich Games Festival. And this is where again students will be able to show off their game to the public, and again it's a really important thing for you guys to kind of get that under your belts and understand that it's not just about for you. Video games are for everyone else as well. You're making the game for other people. We take part in something called the World Skills, and this was an entrance for one of our students where they had to make like a haunted mansion using a certain amount of polygons. That doesn't make sense, don't worry. He came third place out of the entire England, Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales, which was fantastic. We'd love to continue that success. If you complete when you complete your level 3, we do have a level 4 course we've just now we've introduced. This will be our 3rd year of running it, and they work for actual clients. So we've been working with the Time and Tide Museum for the last 2 years, and I'll just show you here a little reel of the things that they've been doing. Fantastic. Right, I hope you enjoyed that. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to pass you over to the other teacher on the course, which is Ian, who's going to be taking you through some 2D pixel art. So enjoy.
Hi folks, today what we're going to be doing at East Norfolk Sixth Form College is creating a 2D character using a piece of software called Piskel. Now Piskel is a web app which you can get from piskelapp.com. As soon as you go onto that website, you'll then have access to this lovely screen just here where you can then try and start building our 2D character. Now with that, there are two options you can do. You can sign in and make an account, or you can just jump straight into create sprite, which are these two yellow buttons here, or those two up the top. Now what we're going to do is create our own character today, but first of all I'm going to give you a quick tour of the interface. So what we have here is different frames, so if we want to animate our character later on, we'll be able to use these. You then have your pen tool, which is your standard paintbrush, and then something called a vertical mirror pen, which you'll see much later on. You then also have the different pen sizes depending on how big you want to make the actual drawing. Make it big or make it small. There you go. And then you have a plethora of other tools that you can use if you wish. You also have the different paint palettes that you can use. So this one here is your left mouse button, whereas this one here would be for your right mouse button. So if you want to choose a different color, you just click on said button and then you can pick them. Now, what also happens is you have a little map at the top which gives us all the information here, which is very useful. You'll see that come into play later. And also a layers button here. If anyone's ever used Photoshop before, you'll find this very, very useful. There are some other tools as well which might be useful later on if you wish to use them, but we're not going to use them today. And then finally, the palette, which you'll see in action soon enough. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a character. Now, there's two options as I mentioned. The pen tool, which will quite literally just let you draw where you are. If you ever want to go back, by the way, just press Ctrl and Z to step back. And there's also the vertical mirror pen tool, like so, which as you can see, draws both of the objects in exactly the same way. Right, now one thing I'm going to do is just resize my canvas, and I'm going to click on this button here which says V-size, and then I'm going to set it down to 32 by 32 pixels. That means that that's going to be the overall size of the actual canvas that we're going to use today, which may be very useful. Say if you're looking to do a smaller pixel based game, that would be why you'd do that, but if you wanted to go into more detail, you'd use a higher pixel ratio. Right, so now I set that, you may notice that the pixels on screen are a bit smaller. So the first thing, I'm going to go to the vertical mirror tool. I'm then going to choose a colour for my paintbrush, which is going to be a slightly off grey on this one, and I'm going to draw my character. So first of all, I'm on layer 0, which is all good, and I'm going to draw a head for my character. There you go, massive head for them. Then I'm going to draw a little body, some legs, like so. Oh, they're awful. Let's redo those. Still, that's not bad. And then you draw your arms like so for your character. Now, I've created a character with a massive head. Never mind, looks good. Alright, so what we're going to next do is I'm going to create a new layer, and we're going to start adding some colour and detail into our character. So first of all, I'm going to create a layer, and I'm going to then choose a colour. For this one, I'm going to choose a nice dark blue. And this is going to be for the actual shirt and the top of the character, like so. Boom. Just so you know, if you right click, because it's set to blue, it will go on like so. If you then also, if you left click, it will go to blue. If you right click, it will then get rid of it because it's set to a transparent colour for the right mouse button. Right, so now I've done my top, I'm then going to do some sort of trousers for my character. I'm going to choose a nice reddish, pinky, purpley colour for them, like so. And there we go. Now, if you notice, there's a little button up the top here inside the map view. If you click on that, it will then give you a bit more of a detailed image of what you've actually done for your character. With that, I've decided to go back to my layer 1 and just neaten up a few of the edges by getting rid of that bit there, and also maybe those 2 pixels there, and maybe a few here, just to neaten up the character overall. Not sure about that one. There you go, like that. So it makes the character just look a bit tidier. There you go, there you go. Quite like that line there though. Right, so next thing I'm going to work on is I'm going to build another layer, and this time we're going to use layer 3, just move that up a bit, and we're going to use this for our skin tone for our character. So I'm going to go to a slightly off khaki colour, there we go, and just add this in for the hands. Now I'm going to colour the entire face in, and with that I'm just going to place the brush in like so. There we go. Right, with this of course you may want to choose a different tone or a shade. Next thing I'm going to do is then add another layer in, and with that I'm going to draw some actual highlights to the character, then go down in pen size. So with that I'm going to first of all think about the actual chin. These are places which are naturally going to pick up light on the face, so that'll be the cheeks, then also the nose, and then the brow of the forehead. Like so. There you go. And now I've got a bit of a highlight. I'll also do a bit of the hands as well. And as you can see on our character there, you got some rough shapes of the face starting to appear. Now on the next layer we're going to add a bit more detail. In this case we're going to add some hair, and I'm going to go for some grey hair today, and we're going to just add that in like so, and make it look like the character's slightly recessed within the hair, which is nice. Adds a little bit more character. And then we're going to go to do some eyes as well. With this I'm going to use a slightly off grey and smaller pen and just draw in one eye there. Oh no, let's go back to the vertical mirror tool for that. There you go, like so. So we know the character is going to be symmetrical. Then finally just going to add in a little mouth down the bottom there, like so. And now we have a character with a little bit of detail. Of course we can add some more details in by adding more layers. So maybe we wish to have a belt. There you go. Add a little belt to the character. Oh, some shoes as well. There you go. Same colour belt and shoes combination. How stylish. Right, what we may then want to do is finally add a little more depth to our character, and this is adding a bit of sun or shadow in. Now to do that, what I'm going to do is go down to a single pen tool. I'm going to use a slightly off grey colour again, perhaps the starting colour that we used, and this time I'm going to click on where it says layer opacity and just change this to the value of 0.3. And with this I'm going to use this for a shadow. So what we're going to do is just draw lines which will naturally cause shadow on the face. So just underneath the nose, underneath the brow of the eye, underneath the arms there, just at the top of the shirt like so, and then the top of the legs. There you go. So now our character has a bit more, depth to them with the actual shadows that we've created on their body. Now of course we can go the exact opposite way to this by adding in highlight colours as well if you so wish. So what you might want to then do is create another layer. In fact it can even be on the same layer, which could be transparent. You can then use a highlighting colour like a light grey for example, or maybe a tan colour, and then think about where you would put highlights within this. So maybe our light is coming from this direction here, Control Z to get rid of that. So there'd be certain elements which will then be highlighted because of that. These would be like areas which hold light within the recess of the actual character itself. There you go. So now if we then have a look at our character overall, there we go. We have different aspects of shadow on the face and also a bit of light, just adding that extra element of character to our lovely character. Now of course we might want to change things, do things slightly different. You have plenty of time to play around with this if you feel like it. Right, so then finally you will want to save this out. So if you click on the save button here and then give this a name, so you could call it save, and then character 1 for me. There you go. You can then save this as Pixel. If you've signed in with an account as well, it will then also put this onto your account, which is very useful. So you can do this at home or you can download it like so. And then finally, if you wish, we can export it as well. So we could use it in a games engine eventually like Unreal or Unity. And with that, you click on the export button. You then want it to be a PNG because it's got a transparent background in the background. And then you want to press the button which says download 32 by 32 pixel, one frame, one row even, because that's what it is currently set to. There you go. And now we have a character which we've downloaded and we can put into a games engine, and we can then start thinking about doing other things with this character. You can even add more animations by duplicating frames and changing them up a bit to animate them in the future. It's completely up to you. So what I want you to do then today is go out and create me a character in Piscal, and then feel free to email it over to either myself or Ditz, and that'd be great, and we'll have a look at them. And also some different links to video tutorials which you might want to use for the forthcoming year.
Thank you, Ian. Hopefully you all found that really, really useful. 2D art is just as important as 3D, and on the course with games development at East Norfolk, you'll be learning industry standard software, like I said at the start of the introduction. The software you're looking at the moment, this is the Unreal Engine, and this was actually built with our students over the summer, well, over the break that we've had. Any of you interested in tabletop gaming? We were kind of going for a Games Workshop style game, which is sort of one called Necromunda. And this was going to be a turn-based sort of strategy, a bit like XCOM. Everything you see here was built from scratch, so this was a completely empty level. So we've got characters with weapons and things, we've got guns, we've got places to hide behind, we've got all these walls, we've got things on the wall here, we've got barrels, we've got a picture of me, and we've got some aliens over here. They were going to sort of be summoning something. This was all just sort of a visual target, what we were kind of making. But in your lessons, you will be making stuff like this. So I'm just going to have a quick fly through. So if I run around it here, you can see we've got animations going. You'll be using software like 3D Studio Max to make animations. We'll be using character building software to sculpt your characters, and I'll show you that in a second as well. We've got all this kind of smoke and fog. That's all part of the engine as well. Lighting, and these are our aliens doing their summoning, and yeah, it kind of makes it all come to life a little bit more. This is our little boxes and things, and yeah, the software you'll be using for this. So one of the first ones you'll use, let's have a look. Actually, let's get you a website list up. So one thing you could do before you start with us in September is to download some of this software. So the engine you were seeing was Unreal Engine. So if you go to unrealengine.com, you can download it. If you already, you may already have it. I mean, obviously Fortnite has been a thing. Epic Games have been giving free games for people for quite some time now. So you may already have the Epic Games launcher on your PC. So what you'll notice, there's obviously the library, but one of the tabs actually says Unreal Engine. You can install that, you can have a go. What they have at the moment as well, they have an online learning platform. So if you wanted to do some of their tutorial videos and go through different things, that is absolutely fine. And I'll show you as well that myself and Ian both have our own YouTube channels where we have lots of tutorials for these as well, which you are free to do whatever you want with. It'd be great if you turned up in September and go, look, I've done all your videos. That would help a lot and we could push forward. We do appreciate as well that Unreal Engine does require quite a high-spec computer. So there is an alternative, and that would be Unity. Unity, again, unity.com is an open engine that you can use, and again they have their own learning platform as well, which is normally paid at the moment, but due to everything going on with COVID-19, it is free until I believe the end of July. Again, really useful. So like how to create your first project, how to create mods, how to make a kart racing game, really, really useful skills for you to go through. Some of the software we use to create the 3D models, things like this, is done with a company called Autodesk, and they are sort of the leading brand of 3D modeling software. So if you've ever heard of AutoCAD or Maya or 3D Max, this is the company that makes them. And if you have a student email account, so if you've already got your set up with your eastnorfolk.ac.uk email, you can download the software for free. If you click on this here, so it's autodesk.com/education, and you click on Start Now here, you'll go through a whole sign-up process where you have to then verify that you're a student, and you can download the software for free. So what does this software look like? So this software looks like this. So this is 3D Max, and you see these pipes here. So I 3D modeled these a little while ago, and they are in here. There they are. So these models here. I've also added some materials and stuff using Substance Painter, so giving them some nice 3D look to them, to make them kind of look a bit more. They're copper pipes. We've got some metal there, a bit more dirty, and we'll do things called mapping, and we'll get into all this. But everything actually, if I zoom out here, all these pieces here pretty much make up the level you were looking at. I've got a little fire extinguisher I was in the middle of making, a little old style Fallout 4 style computer, There's the shrine they were going to, some of the walls, some things, some logos, some like button pressy things, all useful stuff. And again, you'll learn how to make all of this as we go. So this is 3D Max for 3D modeling. I've also got Mudbox. So imagine this is like clay for your computer. So here, these guys here were back into here. If we go back, oops, I lost myself. Where are we? They are over here. That's these guys over here. So I've actually given them a skeleton as well and got them into this pose, and that's how they end up in the engine. Material wise, I'm still painting them. It's going to take a little while, but that's the way it is. But yeah, you get that little details in. So if we go to sculpt here, let's see, you can see what you can do here. You can kind of mess with your models, make them how you want them to be. All right. Where were we again? So that's the software that we'd like you to use. Definitely use this time wisely. Download this stuff, have it ready. If there's any trouble with it, obviously you've got the next few weeks to kind of get yourself over it. With our YouTube channels here, so this is me. YouTube, if you look for Dit Simio, if you Google that or search that on there, you'll find I've got lots of playlists and videos. This is my 3D Max playlist. This is my Unreal Engine, some more 3D modeling stuff. More than happy for you to go through these. If you want to message me on here, that's absolutely fine as well. And Ian has his own 3D model, his own Unreal Engine videos as well. He's got a whole fantastic series about blueprints in Unreal, making a 2D RPG, all sorts. So really, really useful to go through. Yeah, I mean, it's such an awesome piece of software, and it's a really good way of putting everything you've done together. It's not to say we just do 3D, we do 2D as well, which we were looking at earlier, but it's kind of marrying up all those skills as best as you can. So yeah, hopefully you will find that quite exciting, and we'll look forward to seeing you all in September. Thank you.